ice-cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger.
Can you get to it?
There's a tiny crack, a protrusion. The object that is in there stops just short of the skull, in the end.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
You push your hand further in. Whatever is in there keeps rolling between your fingers as you beckon it to come out. Out comes his small folding knife. The lieutenant moves its blade across them.
Withdraw your hand 4 centimeters.
With a crack, he punches the knife in the skull. Then, one more time.
Can you push it out?
A small flower of metal blossoms from the man's head.
A bullet. A non-calibre. Rifled. You may remove your hand from the victim's hand. Here is your prize. We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with high velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound? Opinion, fatal injury. And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3, ligament mark.
He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead. I have had my doubts since you showed me the tracks. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him, I thought. There was no satisfying explanation. There have been other signs too. Small details. Everything is too neatly designed.
We almost fell for it, he thinks. Almost. There is, of course, the very real possibility he was both shot and hanged.
To put him out of his misery? It's possible, but it doesn't explain all the other dubious things here. Lack of struggle, primarily, to hide something. The real killer? The real motivation? What really happened? That's for us to find out. But this, yes, we should take a closer look at it.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure we bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself. Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. And I'll leave that choice to you.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks and even the main case, but it might be more difficult.
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge. I know. What is even worse, the electricity bill must be...
Lucky us. A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you. A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs, rummaging around. Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but...
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way. It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say.
He likes this find.
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period.
A few bricks have fallen off. Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one. A thick layer of coal dust. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of...
Looks like it. Looks no one has used it in ages.
It's dark and grimy.
What are you doing? Wait, really? We should investigate, see if someone's upstairs.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East. An old call box with a matrix. No, hold on. The last thing you need. An old call box with a matrix of push buttons. Whatever she says, it can't hurt you. You're a different... All right, maybe not. There's a light buzz as you press the doorbell.
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric.
Here come the bad vibes again. Relax. Distance yourself from it.
It's you.
Wait, is she...
Michelle. Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't care.
The voice from the intercom doesn't answer, but you can hear her breathing. Wind blows.
Ever since. As if my mind's been...
And then it hits you. She tries again not to cry, and still doesn't succeed completely. Real or not, your mirror neurons react. It feels painful to be listening to this. Her sound melts into the static from a long distance. This is where you hung up the call the last time. But the phone rings in the office with an old-fashioned chime, and someone walks by in a pair of... No one replies, but the static grows stronger like rainfall. Her words are too cold to comprehend. She smells of sodium lights and rain streaks on...
So... It was a recording trapped in the circuitry from some ancient tenant. This sometimes happens. Shall we conclude here? I don't have time to explain it to you right now. Don't take this the wrong way, but during our show...
That is true. Silence. No one. The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's got...
Shoot, Looney Rooney. Come back late.
You broke down the back door, the wards, the door. It's all gone now. Darks, I suppose it's all over now. Just a door? This place is cursed. I hope you're happy now. Happy that you've ruined everything. Now that of course you would think that. All right. You know what? I'm willing to let you investigate. But before we go on, tell me, did you encounter the malignant entity? You did? Then it has to be true. I've suspected that this woman-shaped energy must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you see that she lives inside the chimney? Yes, I've heard that. It's enormous. She has barricaded some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all...
If you're really interested in cracking this mystery,
Despite his cool, the lieutenant's interested in solving this.
Okay, but please, the curse is so much worse. It's the curse of...
Didn't that curtain just move?
Everyone knows that all the previous companies in this building have sooner or later... There's something wrong with...
Sounds familiar. She nudges her glasses, anxious and tense.
It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail.
Wow. Void raves. You have new...
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists. The wards help to keep the doom at bay. Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet. There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost... Yes, the Simonees are very...
The woman before you scans... The plaque on the shelf reads...
I would say... The book is also very daring. Perhaps for a lady...
Do her words seem vague and abstract to you?
Certainly. It's prudent...
You feel like you should get this one. Several maps have been attacked. The maps look old. This large map displays ozone, Laurentide, disintegrating into... In the northeast, a dust mite stands radiating outwards from you. The suzerain Revachol. With a radius of 8, you can, on Caillou, lost little pearls of 850 million people. The ocean breaks apart into a tank connections to other worlds. Words you have little idea what they are. Distant, perhaps they are gods. Gods of the north coast of Averden. To the east, Huron. It's somewhere. You feel you're just west of Coal City. Somewhere above Jamrock and close to Coal. It's not real. Still, it's...
I'm sorry, officer. They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though. That old thing? It's an out-of-date map from when some design studio people tried to spruce... They didn't get that far, for some reason. A shame the project never got going. Would be nice if someone fixed Martinez up. Always good to be informed of your surroundings.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a...
does it say anything interesting?
This is tangent. Someone has scribbled. S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP.
Looks like someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their... That's a plausible hypothesis. Really? You don't have a sing... Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on a filament memory. Even if he doesn't know what to do with it, he'd probably try to pawn it for speed. But I don't know.
Didn't you see one right next to the breaker box? The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM. Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad.
What? Well, if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say, if we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it. In conclusion, the more we know...
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges you wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter. You can just about make out a few striations near the base. It's quite destroyed.
What can you say about the bullets of a jacketed bullet? Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle.
Highly unusual. The people of Revachol.
Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer.
Something tells you that won't be any time soon. This'll have to be one of those epic tasks that's open for a while. You can't remember what happened last week. What makes you think you're going to remember our... The bullet is still safely sealed away. A rifle. Revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter. The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle. Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you. The dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial. No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers.
What are you thinking? Bullet? Okay. And? An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles. I have to hand it to the monarchs. It's quite admirable that they took the advice of criminologists last century and banned the use of... Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzleloaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons. But they realize it's worth it.
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced by the Moralist International in all the nations of the Real Belt.
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. But back to the investigation. Doesn't seem that likely, but we'll check out all possible leads. Next step, finding the gun.
The worn map features the patchwork grid of your finger moves through the various streets, finally coming to a halt on the...
For a more detailed view of the map, go to your journal and...
This bookstore is not amidst the point of the book. It serves platitude wholeness when it's up to your mind. The book features this this is just mundane garbage. What's even paranatural about this? The throbbing in your head, suddenly, as if out of nowhere. The book contains very little for example, it recommends vigorously swatting one's naked body with a venik or hand. It is supposedly invigorating and good for the circulation. It also recommends consuming distilled spirits. Among other benefits, it is that seems improbable. Is it any more improbable than anything else that human beings put their faith in? For general health and well-being, readers are encouraged to take regular... These strolls promise to cleanse the mind. This is exactly what... There's an entire section devoted to cures for men. You close the book and...
Vigilance officer, What can this old carabiner? It's a bell McGrave. This one's inoperable. The bolt spring is missing and the mechanism is jammed shut. Still a beauty. I understand. Unfortunately, I don't know what else to tell you. Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night.
He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason.
She is nobody.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday. No one. The bus has been unmanned since...
No one has been...
Yes! It's...
Look, officers, the container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that bus built specially for him.
the possibility of someone being in there.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiners' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
Can we conclude the topic of my guard boost now? Yes. Like I said, I would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
As René turns from you to his partner and back, the medals are two. The larger one is shaped like a cross. What? A crowned head in front of two crossed rifles. The medal it's the Croix de Bravoure, Cross of Valor. The cross was the highest battlefield decoration in a small blue star inside an orange sun. The setting sun was a decoration used to distinguish seas.
For bravery.
It's a conflicted topic for the old veteran. There must have been a number of controversial episodes in his service days.
I'm sure, but I know this uniform's reputation. You are also wondering if I got this for raping women or killing babies. Honor is everything to me.
Whoa, sounds like you're about to open the gates of conversation. This man will literally talk your ear off if you...
For doing my duty in the heat of battle. For looking my mortality in the...
He saved some muddy princeling who foolishly strolled into the front line in his gown of velvet and gold.
It was on the first months of the revolution here in King Frisel thought he could. Alas, the young Drisson was all pissed.
Purple velvet tunic.
To keep the long and bloody story short, Drisson marched. The rebels were smart. They let us come real close before opening fire. Suffice to say, it was carnage. I got shot in the left shoulder and went down. Just a flesh wound. But just as I turned over, the prince fell into the mud next to me. He was missing his lower than his horse, driven mad by the noise and smell of...
Hang on to the story. Veterans get sentimental after such retellings. This might yield something useful.
I grabbed my sidearm and shot the beast in...
Capitaine Arnoux, left...
When I came to, it was all over. It was just me and Jolas Tresson, gurgling in the blood-soaked mud right next to me. The Dink had taken numerous flesh wounds and lost a lot of blood. But despite missing his jaw, he seemed hesitant to die. Tougher than he looked, that one. So I grabbed the Dink and started crawling. Kept going until, through some miracle, we both survived. And the jealous freak convinced Frisel to give me a medal. He was the commanding officer and I was on duty. Just doing my job. Shouldn't hand out medals for that. 13 months later, I received the son. Bah! There were many such stories in those days. Many such men, too.
Oh, yes, René, yes. Men were bigger, girls were prettier, and everyone wore the fashion.
I'm not getting into this with you again.
You should try to come up with a heroic story of your own. Impress this old soldier.
Officer, the miss. Oh, sweet Jenny. She was the finest.
Do not defile her memory, Gaston.
We knew her, all right. She was.
And then you stole her from me.
It's okay, officer. You might have just saved René from a heart attack. Sweet, sweet Jenny. Ask away, officer. She died of pneumonia too. René and I were both by her bedside when she...
Died. No use sugarcoating it. Won't bring her back, will it now?
Departed. Until the very end she couldn't decide between us. The most she could never make up her mind about anything. What to have for breakfast, favorite. She was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get married. Heck, technically, we're both still engaged.
You always confused her. Couldn't let us be happy. Seduced her with your
He suddenly remembers you are still there.
Of course, officer. Sure, officer. Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an honorary not in the technical sense. I don't have a vote or a membership card, but...
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I hate the socialist rabble, but even siding with them is...
Writing work mostly. How can Oh, nothing official, I assure you.
Well, he tells his little...
No, thank you.
The worn and beaten wooden...
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder.
You can revisit the bench if you ever.
Still here? Nope. Don't smoke. Some of the other drivers...
Yup, nothing wrong with that statement. Your senses have nothing...
You could also check the kiosk down the street.
There are clothes.
Don't be shy. These are premium class,
You find your...
economical, but also trendy. Look first hand. Buy second hand.
No good. All you can come up with are some treated wool pants. You can tell they're too tight around your thighs and too loose. They itch.
All natural materials, see? Real wool, 100% skin friendly, and they're yours for all.
You see too low.
I can see you have taste for luxury, officer.
A pair of...
Those sneakers, mister.
Only? That's madness. These ones...
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneaker. These, officer? These speakers are...
Samaran trash. That sounds like they're from the Samaran peoples. The speakers... You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage. The name, Sileng.
Happy shopping, officer. Everything's cool.
From out on the bay, a cool wind.
You're very cool. Bang, 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 bang. You're right, officer. 100%. No playing around then. Only the coolest goods in Revachol. I've got sneakers, speakers, extreme. I'm an entrepreneur, officer. I've got sources, buyers, suppliers, distributors, manufacturers. No need for discounts at ceilings, officer.
But did he first mark them up 100%? Just so that he could... Yes, it's a bit...
Anything for you. Me? It's a boring story, officer.
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty, an archipelago in the Samaran Isola.
Very cool.
There's a pile of cheap...
You like sunglasses, officer?
Abort. These are...
Damn, officer!
They're perfect for concealing.
No, you are definitely not buying those.
Are you sure? But they look so good on you. You should think they...
G'day to you, officers.
A burly man hangs out
My friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock. I'm keeping him company.
from the corner of your eye.
Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officer? I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign.
The words...
Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything round here, especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed. Well, there's the fishing village. Yeah, not really much else.
A couple of indicator lights. This panel usually closes the waterlock, turning it into a bridge that lets you pull the lever all the way up. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the waterlock to get across the canal. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
Hello again. How can I help you?
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has. Turning the crank feels oddly. It's all gone now. What better to us? You slip your fingers under the frozen lid. But if you want to try again...
Equip the pry bar by going...
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut. The ice squeaks beneath the pry bar. You see the pry bar's metal hand.
Yeah, well, that's a good pry bar. I'm not criticizing it, but this ice cream maker is frozen shut. I have no idea, officer. This ice cream maker...
Sooner or later, you will stumble upon a tool. 2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. Something close to you.
Why did you do that?
The lieutenant raises his brows. but doesn't say anything. This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner, and the ice squeaks beneath. You see,
Yeah, well, I have no idea, officer.
sooner or later, you will stumble upon a tool mighty enough. Then we will know what's in this. A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. You muster all your strength. You're dehydrated. A lifetime of smoking and the chatter from the chimney continues. Then again,
Maybe you should let your voice rest, officer. Try again later.
an iron safety curtain. This must be where. This is directly above the central furnace in the. Again, your voice a sudden bout of sire. May we suggest something? Think of the yelling into the furnace as a. Perhaps it's not such a bad idea. A thick layer of coal dust. A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it. Something breaks loose in you.
Hello?
You've awakened the entity.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you.
You hear a low rumble upstairs.
After you, officer.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand.
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. So what kind of
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite... I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system.
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Answers? How strange. I'm not sure how helpful I'll be, but
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room.
nothing really.
Who cares about the dead body? We might be dealing with... The lieutenant looks at his notebook.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or...
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when... Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids.
She's not sorry to disappoint you. Informing on someone in a murder investigation would intrude upon her focused
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it. And I prefer doing this to sitting at home. I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm...
She nods.
Anything else, officer? Of course. Tell me what you have in mind. How about an amber dye? Alright, maybe some other dye then? I think I have just the right one for you.
Police colors.
Not the most original, I know. Here, catch. There
A beautiful woman tossing you a gift. Whatever you do, don't overthink it. Mr. Smooth Moves. You snatched the dice out of the air with one hand. Just...
Oh, what are the odds? The red one is...
She winked back at you.
You definitely need luck in Martinez. Was there anything else? How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. Not especially.
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity...
Creative.
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true. It's just capitalism. We only hear about tales of success, so it's Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow? All right, but it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the Whirling in Rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex. And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet I was just about to ask, what do you think?
Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
Exactly. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today? More or less. Are you interested in anyone's...
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
Yes, I think it was...
A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad.
I guess it just wasn't the time. It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemiteps Boxing Club, a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime. A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger. Kuno. Who's Kuno? yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid. It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse.
You should have known it. It's not really full of that. No.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This one's a mess. There used to be. Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff.
What's the snuff, Milia?
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the whole. It's a Sub Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders.
What does she mean?
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators. You mean Mr. Fabron?
But what drugs exactly?
He got high on some weird taxidermy chemical.
Even you can almost see it. A small, sickly old man, hunched behind his work desk.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the material. And you know how all kinds of political movements are. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. At least it had some spark to it. Most young...
As she shifts around, you notice several dead...
Anything else? They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades, honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions, the usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking of...
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is his... I have no idea why those kids...
They were just props.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about... They certainly took the usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done. Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest. Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about it. In the end, they just didn't get it done.
Showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult, especially if you've been drinking.
And so is producing something extraordinary.
Something strains her face before she looks up again.
Anything else? Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about...
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the... And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb...
Fritta does the same thing.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs, and they already had the bear. The bear. Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. Eventually, Revachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Class A 5000. Class A 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges. Maybe, because the taxidermist who made the bear definitely wasn't. He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast.
Sounds cool.
Megatherion. A mega wild beast. It's an imaginary beast by telling you to do more drugs.
A wise and noble beast. The horrific necktie tightens around your neck. Strangely excited. But
Understandable. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream and...
Outside it's light. Lights.
Anything else? Another failed business? Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless. It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. Are you sure it was Slipstream SEA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Tricentennial Electrics? It used to be a major electric...
No, it was something else. It was eerie.
Pranks can be eerie. Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity. Why would Slipstream SEA have... I'm still convinced.
My money is on electrical anomaly. I've heard of these, especially in an old building like this.
It can't be... Are you sure it was Slipstream? Oh, right. Tricentennial... It used to be...
No, it was something else. It was eerie.
A prank is more likely, no? Oh, the kids these days. You could say so.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the Doom commercial area.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. My advice...
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
His disdain for pinball could not be clearer.
Sure, I'm listening. I'm pretty sure it still doesn't... Sure, I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
Officer!
Undressing in a stranger's place of business? Yeah.
Miss, I apologize for my colleague's behavior.
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally. And yes, guess what's yours? No, you're the sorry cop. Huge lack of enthusiasm going on in here. Oh, you know, Apocalypse, Superstellar, the advanced interesting cop, Liquid Shadow cop. But you're too sorry. What? Jealous of the They'll be super fine. It'll be... Of course you are. It's okay. See if you can get something out of this. Like that won't happen.
Oh, it's you again.
Looks like someone tried to... Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the same Slipstream logo. That's a good question. Reality.
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. There may be a novelty dice maker. Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep. I don't understand. If it's not her...
The narrative she's built herself, it does need to. Just don't say you don't have any. Oh, to hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire.
Oh, how horrid! Tell me, did you find a way to break the curse? Of course. I trust my Seminese wards. All that matters is that the energies are retreating. Thank you, officer. Truly, you've brought a better...
She so badly wants this to be over. She would have believed anything. It will only last a day or two. A week tops. Then her mood...
All right, then. All's well that ends well. Should we return to...
Hello again, sir. I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running. Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic, even by the standards of the Philippian king. Well, he blew through his own maladministration foreshadowed. Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into he called it the Sol Auron.
The man certainly knew how to live.
But wait. You haven't even heard about his fabled You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasure. Not just any nose candy, though. We're talking royal Philippian blow. Allegedly twice as potent as the stuff you find nowadays. Cocaine. His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with the higher realms. That's what the revolutionaries beneath the cold waters, a group of marble pleurons, still surround the king's vandal. The original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged. Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing made some years ago a group of liberal. The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a sea of shit. People in Martinez tend to disagree, as do many prominent. Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Yes. It was part of a special order for... So, it seems the most recently registered film that the ICP has been able to...
A suit of armor like this would have been manufactured with a particular person's physique in mind. You should ask for whom this suit was fitted.
Yes, but the ICP tends to be...
This is a fun challenge for her. An opportunity to contribute beyond doing her job by rote. She'll gladly put in the extra effort for Team RCM.
Glad to help. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have more for you then. 57.
In the cabin, East. You see, the cobalt blue surface, the door does not. The man ponders his cooking utensils.
Just a moment, and there...
The closest phone booth is down the...
It's fine, I understand. Please don't trouble your... The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really... The manager was vague about...
Why would he be vague about phone problems?
To let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. I was also...
A little missing persons puzzle might just be the thing to take your mind off the hangover.
That's just it. This...
A cold breeze hisses through dense thickets of reeds. Something sweet in it.
You have more important things to worry about. Just some field work, sweetie. Morel, but they should have returned by now.
The water lock. That was broken. Could this be it?
Oh, sweetie. Gary's as loyal as they come. Oh my. What happened to the water? Well, whatever the cause, I'm thankful. To both of you.
You're welcome.
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the...
This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with, yes, some left...
And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie. Oh, yes.
It's a pseudoscience that it...
That's one of...
My apologies, ma'am.
It's not a hobby, dear. Searching for...
She's completely internalized her husband's struggles. They are, you're an enthusiastic...
We don't have time for Cryptozoology 101. Let's get...
Oh dear. I'm not sure where...
You can't go around Revachol feeling grown men's hands. It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world.
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but...
The lieutenant pulls out his...
One other thing. He'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him. We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but by a dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. We hit it off.
She's skipping over some important parts.
I hope I've been useful. Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
Well?
Ah, yes. Phasmatodea. A diverse group. Oh, yeah. Here comes...
Where other phasmids? Hence it's...
I knew it. We're gonna be chasing made-up insects with cryptozoologists.
It's not made up. It's simply elusive. So much so that, well, some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what. Of course, most phasmid sighting. Not at all. Oh, I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie. Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the... Oh, dear. Morel can explain it all much better.
Can I help you? got the 20 real? Then why are you waiting?
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. It's barely covered in steam anymore. It's your face in the mirror, adorned with... A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. Yes, and the phone company is taking its sweet time sending someone to fix it. It's not strange, it's in... Who told you that? Fine, yeah. It looked like someone had messed with the wiring. It was short. If you do find out who cut the line, though, let me know, so I can forward them the Oh, yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious. Yes. What? Yes.
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't...
The trash container. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste. The container sounds a muffled gong. The tear machines. Your bottles clunk into the machine. And do you know what you should do with that money, kiddo? You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The raincoats are transparent, except for the big frit.
What is what? If you want to buy one, then it's only 4 real. Here you go. Is this about reality?
She is like a student, unexpectedly.
I don't really know anything. I mean, I'm 15. I don't know. What about it? We're in Frit as man.
What will her essay prompt be?
In a good place. I mean, science is... I don't know.
The clock shows the time at 10:09. The hands seem to be still. It's apparent that...
Our governor. Or do you mean when or... Yeah, cool. A warehouse. I don't know.
She looks up.
Fine. For it doesn't have a warehouse. Just a little back room here. Okay?
A colourful display of cigarettes there, in that dark green glass. All in vain. The great flowing river of warmth, wine, alcohol, beer, alcohol. The beauty.
I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health.
Don't ask. Don't look. Know this. You will never finish your alcohol quest if you don't buy beautiful alcohol.
Here you go, mister.
A small cabinet on the wall. Their logo is the
Just ask me if you need anything from St. Baptiste. We don't stock prescription meds, but we do have Nosafed, Duramine, Magnesium, and Hypnogamma. St. Baptiste. St. Baptiste.
She is right. Saint Baptiste, the company, derives its name from... There it is, a brave little army in your pocket. You picked the best one.
Oh yes, Bratan! Please light up!
Get a load of this rock and roll cop here, people. Johnny Thundercop. Fish repercussions. There's a high... It will help you concentrate. It only lets you concentrate because you're in. Blah, blah, blah. Boring. Light it up. Thick, warm smoke gets sucked down into your lungs. Immediately, you feel a warm nostalgia fill your head, body, and soul. A nostalgia for...
In the bottom right corner of the screen, there's a cigarettes button. Cigarettes gives +1 to intellect skills. Logic, rhetoric, conceptual...
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling-height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold outside.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here. Again.
Good one, Ty.
Huh?
There was a bullet in the dead man's brain. Why was...
How the fuck do I know? Anyone could have shot him. Target practice, man.
Interesting, sire. It's as if he's lying.
This line of questioning is over. You got the cause of death already.
About fucking time. You still on?
Indeed. Mighty. How did it get there?
Well, there are so many bullets. I guess
It's bound to happen again, you know?
Sire, it would be an event most dramatic if you were to produce the bullet and dangle it before their very eyes.
Wow.
Why don't you go home and log it into evidence? These men have told you what happened.
You know what I think? I think he was shot in the head as a kid.
Around the bullet, man. That's a good one.
All the goofing around is they're only pretending to enjoy this.
Shit! I probably did.
Yeah, Glenn likes to.
No, he meant before he was hanged. Did you shoot him?
Before? After? During? This is getting ridiculous.
Never been.
It's not like he blew it wide open, but there's a little crack in there, somewhere.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Establish authority. Yes. Authority. Feverish thoughts race through your mind.
Stop shitting your pants. The law.
Yeah. Aren't you listening? It's done. Finito.
For God's sake, stop shouting! Stop crashing into people and they're not going to give you anything. Can't you see? I can't have a police interrogation in here. People are trying to eat. Of course it concerns me.
Easy, babe.
We are deep in...
Everyone can see you picked some wrong options. Next time you have to come up with better things to say.
Can I help you? Do I have a shaker in my hand?
He sounds irritated, and it's not a shaker. It's nothing.
Am I wearing a little bow tie? Am I smiling? Do you see me smiling? Because I'm not a bartender.
Play it calm. This man needs to understand you need a drink to help the community deal with police stuff.
Like what? Can I help you? Do I have...
He sounds, and it's not a shaker.
Am I smiling?
Because he's not a bartender.
That's right. I'm the cafeteria.
Play it calm. This man needs to understand you need a drink to help the community deal with police stuff.
Oh, well, in that case, let me pour you a nice, big, refreshing marinella. Do you want that out of a glass or a pineapple? Don't be an imbecile. I'm not going to serve you a marinella. I have work to do and broken things to fix.
Fuck does Kuno care? Been waiting for you to fucking man up. Okay, Kuno's listening. Sure. Confiscate it.
So half of a half is a quarter, right? We're probably talking about...
Just get in the apartment building. Kuno knows. Go to room 12, first floor, and kick. That's it. Next time Kuno sees you, you better have...
What the hell are you signing us up for here? Okay then.
Kuno...
A shabby door hangs oddly on its hinges, secured to the doorframe with a safety chain. An unpaid energy bill is attached. No response. You'll need to equip the chain cutters to enter.
And the place comes with 3 months' worth of utility bills.
A shabby door hangs oddly on its hinges. Snip. The cutter goes through the...
I know there's no stopping you, but let's at least...
A phone book lies open on the table, covering a stack of utility bills.
Good.
The minuscule amount of amphetamine doesn't interest the lieutenant in the slightest. He listens instead to something in the... You pocket the bottle as if it were the most... A bundle of clothes heaped on the bed, a stained parka, some towels and a duvet, some socks even. Something underneath. It's not too late. No one's going to blame you for backing out. You don't have to do this. Just get out. Your hand touches a greasy duvet covered in cigarette burns and ketchup stains. You hear it. A bundle of clothes heaped on the bed. A stain. Something. It's not too late. Your hand touches a greasy... You see a 60-year-old, fat, red-headed man passed out. You don't have to take him down. He's already down.
Well...
The lieutenant's right. The man's unwashed hair bears a familiar ginger tone. Even the hair on his...
I think he's still quite bad. This man won't be feeding his family anytime soon.
A pair of half-open bug eyes is staring back at you from the dark, empty, and frozen.
Can't you tell? It happens to exceptionally committed substance abusers. They fall asleep with their eyelids. Look, he's trying to communicate. What is there to do? We could turn him on his side so he doesn't choke on his own vomit. But he's already on his side. We could take him to Remedy or Saint-Baptiste. They don't do charity for people who are trying.
Years. The pile of blankets grunts miserably. The man groans once again, and then it dawns upon you. Pigs. He's trying to call you pigs. His hand falls back on the bed.
At least he got to say his piece. I'm afraid it is.
A groan rises from the man's throat. Silence. Only he.
Yes?
Fuck does Kuno care? Alright, so you got Kuno's kilo. Here, that's how we split it. It's the best way. Street way. Word on the street is, you sent your little friend in dressed as a hooker.
Not a single
Kuno wants to hear all about it. Kuno knows what Kuno means.
Kuno means Graham.
The fuck are you talking about? Getting Kuno all worked up for nothing? Kuno doesn't... Fuck does Kuno care? Alright, that's how we split it. It's the best. Alright. Kuno knew you'd try that. Tell him, Kuno's got brains. This shit doesn't surprise Kuno. So Kuno's gonna... Major fuck! Kuno won't take this shit.
It's hard to see how. Not given a... Hard to see, but easy to feel.
Tick, 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 tick. Decision time. What's it gonna be? You gonna fuck the Kuno? Alright. You fucked the Kuno. Everybody, Kuno got fucked by his pocket. I told you he can't be trusted. Relax, see? We got plenty of kilo. This is about you and Kuno. You missed...
There is genuine disappointment. In truth, Kuno doesn't really believe there's anything you can do to make up for this. The damage is irreparable.
The fuck do you know about... Yeah!
6 meters underground, below piping from before the war. The collapsed remains...
Yeah? How the fuck are you still alive, pig? You got lucky. Should have sent you in when he was there, pushing roids in it. Fuck right there where? Fucking 3 years or some shit. That's right. Yeah, in a tomb, Kuno. That didn't change shit, pig. It doesn't work, Kuno.
She tries to bind their fates together. She needs him. Bad.
Kuno doesn't